How company doing their functions, what are the responsibility of the company in India, and what are the duties, what are their responsibilities, what are their commercial activities, political activities, how should they collect the revenue. All this will be mentioned in the Charter Act. So next one, in this first one, the company rule is extended another 20 years, from 1793 to 1713, another 20 years extended. The company rule will be extended in India another 20 years. And British merchants were allowed. See, British merchants were allowed in India with a strict licensing system. So far, only East India Company was doing the business in India. Only East India Company was doing the business in India. But from the 1813, all traders in the Britishers, they were allowed. The India opened up its economy. The British government opened the Indian economy to all British traders, not only East India Company. Why this decision taken by the British government all of a sudden? Why? Because with the war of Napoleon, with the Napoleon wars and other wars, there was a miseries in the Britain. The all traders, they have lost their business opportunities in other countries, as well as their traders were at loss. And at the same time, they used to see the officers of the East India Company, their lavishness, how they are enjoying life. So all other traders started pressurizing over the British government. We want to do business in India. Please open the Indian economy for us also. Means all traders should be open, all traders should be allowed to do business in India. So according to with the pressure of the all other traders, so finally the British government took the decision to open the Indian economy to other traders also. And also another important point behind to take this decision. Why? Because the company has become very powerful. Company started involving in the political affairs, not only commercial affairs. Now the British government also recognized the political affairs. So company become more politically it is become more powerful politically. So the British government wanted to make the political body rather than the commercial body. So the commercial activities will be allowed to other traders, but the company should act as the political body. So they wanted to make company as the political authority. So that is another, but not other matters. Only the China trade and opium trade was stayed with the East India Company only. Only East India Company will do in the China and tea trade and opium trade, but all other matters allowed to every trader from the British territories. So it also provided clear financial, means provided for the financial grant to Indian literature. This act first time recognized the importance of the Indian literature as well as the promotion of science in India. Why? Because they wanted to recruit the local people into the government. So another stress with the, and those times some social reformers started pressurizing over the British government's company rule to promote the education. So the British government they used to travel the Britain all the way. They started pressurizing over the British government to implement some educational reforms, so to allocate some budget for the education in India also. India wanted to become educate by this means in the view of these social reformers, they pressurized over the British government. That's why the British government added one provision in the 1813 Act, the greater role in the education. 1 lakh rupees also allocated in the budget. And according to these Christian missionaries also allowed to propagate English and preach their religion in India. And moving forward, next act, Charter Act 1330. What are the important provisions of the Charter Act? This is also same. It is going to amend the charter. Another 20 years extended. Another 20 years means 1833 to 1853. And here the Governor General, the Governor in the Regulating Act 1773, the Governor of Bengal made Governor General of Bengal. Now the Governor General of Bengal as Governor General of India. Why? Because here only Bombay and Madras provinces are subordinate to the Bengal governor. Now when come to here, all other provinces, 50% of India, all other province belongs to East India Company. They will all those subordinate to Governor General of Bengal. So Governor General of Bengal came to known as Governor General of India. So Governor General of Bengal become more powerful than any other province governor. Next, the civil and military powers were vested. So civil and all military powers throughout the country vested in the Governor General of India. So Governor General of India started ruling entire country in the civil matters, in the commercial matters, in the political matters. So he will act as the PM of India. Today times PM of India. And council, nothing but it is the executive. Council, nothing but executive. How many members? 4 members plus 1. So these are called ministers. Like these other members acting as like ministers. Next one, who was the first Governor General of India? It was a very important question in the for the prelims point of view as well as the group 1 TSPSC also and APPSC also. Lord William Bentinck was the first Governor General of India. And also it is deprived the Bombay and Madras to make the laws. Is deprived the Bombay and Madras. So far every province they will make their own laws. But from this act, all these 2 important provinces they barred from the making the laws. Instead of them, only Governor General of India will make the laws. They will start implementing. So that's why it will deprive the legislative powers to the Bombay as well as the Madras. So all law making powers with the Governor General of India. And it also ended the commercial activities of the East India Company. In last act we have already discussed that why the British government allowed other traders to do business. Why? Because the British government recognized the company has become more political power rather than the commercial affairs. The company started as the trading, they came as the traders, they occupied the India, now they become more political power rather than the economical power. So that's why the British government started controlling the India with the help of the East India Company. So that's why they want only East India Company as political power, not the commercial power. So commercial activities is decentralized, but only political power is vested in this company. So the company barred from all other commercial activities, now started only political activities. Now it is only political body, not the commercial body. Also, it is also the first time in India open competition system was introduced with this for selection of the civil servants. For the selection of the civil servant, it was also opposed by the Court of Directors. Why? Because Court of Directors wanted to control the East India Company in a monopoly manner. They don't want other candidates to be included in it. And if you go for the open competition in India, various other civil servants will be selected and these Court of Directors powers will be loosened. They don't wanted to lose their powers. That's why it is opposed by the Court of Directors. The laws make under this previous act called regulations. So far they were called as regulations. But these rules and regulations that are framed under this charter, and so far any regulation made by the Governor General, now from onwards they are called laws, not the regulations. However, since the passage of this act, this came to known as acts. So far we are calling it as the regulations. Now onwards we are going to call it as acts. And if you go to next topic, and Indian Law Commission, according to the Charter Act of 1833, Indian Law Commission, first time Indian Law Commission was appointed under this act, and Lord Macaulay was the first chairman of the Indian Law Commission. This Law Commission established in 1854. Lord Macaulay was the first chairman of the first Law Commission established in 1954. Who was the first chairman? Lord Macaulay. The act provided for the presidency of the Bengal to be divided into the presidency of the Agra and Fort Williams. So presidency of the Bengal has become more powerful and more large. This is the India. This is the Bengal. And Bengal divided into two. One is Agra. Now this is the India. This is the India. And this is the province of Bengal. It included Calcutta, it included Agra, it included now Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, and big province. It's become big province. So administratively it is impossible to control by one governor. That's why it is today we are Telangana, Andhra Pradesh divided into Andhra Pradesh as well as the Telangana. Why? Various reasons. So administrative reasons also one of the reasons to divide the one state into the other states. Like that, these big provinces was divided into two another provinces like Agra as well as Fort Williams. Fort Williams nothing but Bengal. Fort Williams nothing but Bengal. So Parliament abolished slavery also. There was a various movements against the slavery. Various movements against the slavery in British government. So British government along with the other countries, and this act also abolished slavery in India. What is the importance of this act? Centralization of the administration reached new heights. Why? Because the law making power of the Madras and Bombay were curtailed and they were vested in the Governor General of India. That's why the centralization was reached at its peak. So codification of law was taken up for the first time. Why? Because it provided the first Indian Law Commission and also acknowledged the need to involve the Indians. Why? Because it introduced the system of open competition for civil service examination, civil service exam to be conducted in India, to include the Indians into the Indian Council, So it started representing the Indians in the Indian government. And going next topic, Charter Act of 1853. So what are the important features of this act? It provides the separation of executive, legislative functions of the council. It separated the executive. So far the Governor General of India Council, all powers vested in it. You know that Governor General of India in Council, he will have both powers, legislative powers, and last act we have discussed all powers of the Bengal, Madras and Bombay curtailed and vested in the Governor General of India. So this council will have the legislative. It will make the laws and rules and regulations, impose the rules and regulations, and also executive powers also, and it will rule the India. So both powers will vested in this Governor General Council. Now with this act they were separated, and another body will be created for the law making power. What is that body? 6 new members of Legislative Council. Now the law making power separated from the Governor General Council, and it is going to vested in new body that is called Legislative Council. For the first time with this act, the Parliament was established. Parliament. Form of government was established. That means it is Legislative Council. What is called? It is legislative. Under this act it is called Legislative Council. So far legislative powers will stay with the Governor General. Legislative powers taken away separately and vested in separate body created Legislative Council. How many members? 6 members. 6 members. So local representation, another one, the civil service exam was thrown to India. In last act we have discussed that the system of open competition was established for the civil servant selection, and in this act civil services was thrown open to the Indians. So far only East India Company used to recruit Britishers into the administrative functions. Now with this act Indians also going to recruit in the Legislative and Governor General Council and all other, not Governor General Council, and Indians also started recruiting Indians. The British East India Company will also start recruiting Indians into the British administration. That means East India Company administration. So local representation in the Indian Central Legislative Council, Bombay, Agra, and a few members from the Bombay, Agra, Madras will also included in the member belongs to Indians. So first time the local representation, Indians will be represented in the Legislative Council. Few members belongs to India from the Bombay, Agra, Madras, Bengal will be sit in the Legislative Council, and court of directors could create new presidency for or new presidency or new states will be created, and will have the court of directors will have the power to create new provinces, new presidency. So next the act provided for the appointment of separate governor for the Bengal presidency. So what is the important? These are the some of the important. So what is the importance of this act? Another one, the separation of the executive, and we have discussed this separation of the executive. What is the importance of this act? And we have already discussed first time the legislative and executive powers were divided. First time the legislative and executive powers were separated. That is the very important of this act, important provision of this act. That means first parliament form of government in India was established by the 1853. Separate legislative council was set up with the 6 members, and also local Indians from the Bombay, Agra, Madras and etc. They will be represented in the council. They will sit in the council. They will discuss the laws. They will allowed to sit in the council. So Indian representation also started, and also first time the Indians were started recruiting in the Indian administration. The Indian civil servants going to become the part of the Indian administration. That is another. So first time the representative form of the government started in India with this act. So no time was provided for this rule. And also last time in 1913 we have seen the company rule was extended another 20 years till 1833, and 1813 to 1833. And another one, in the 1833 act we have seen one provision called the company rule was extended another 20 years from the 1833 to 1853. But in 1853 act there was no provision for the timing of ruling of East India Company. There is no specified provision for giving particular time for the East India Company. That means East India Company rule is going to exit very soon. That means it is indirectly giving clear signal that ఈస్ట్ ఇండియా కంపెనీ రూల్ యొక్క పరిపాలన త్వరలో ఎండ్ కాబోతుందనే సిగ్నల్ ఇవ్వడం జరిగింది ఈ చట్టంలో. సో 1853 చట్టం ఏం చెప్తుందంటే నో పర్టికులర్ టైం వాజ్ ప్రొవైడెడ్ ఫర్ దిస్ రూల్. So it means the rule of East India Company should be terminated whenever the British Parliament wanted to. ఎప్పుడైతే బ్రిటిష్ పార్లమెంట్ కోరుకుంటుందో అప్పుడు కంపెనీ రూల్ ఎండ్ అవుతుంది, డైరెక్ట్ బ్రిటిష్ గవర్నమెంట్ పరిపాలించడం జరుగుతుంది. సో మెకాలే కమిటీ ఆన్ సివిల్ సర్వీస్ అపాయింటెడ్ in 1854. First Lord Macaulay was the first law commission member. So as well as is a Macaulay Committee on Civil Service appointed in 1854. In the same year, first law commission was established. Establishment of dedicated rule making body, Indian Legislative Council. That is another important provision of this act. So here from the we have discussed 1773. So far we have discussed in this, and in this session ended with this topic. So far we will quickly recall what are the topics we have discussed in this session. First we have discussed some of the important provisions of the 1773. In 1773 Supreme Court was established in the Kolkata, and three members were the lawyers and one is Chief Justice. You have to remember for that. And Governor General of Bengal came to know as Governor of Bengal came to know as Governor General of Bengal. Other two provinces Bengal were made subordinate to the Governor General of Bengal. So these are the important provisions of the 1773 Act. And 1781 it is Amendment Act of the Regulating Act. Why? Because there is a there is a controversy of the powers between the Supreme Court as well as the Governor General Council. The Supreme Court was used to object the decisions of the Governor General Council. There was so this act separated the functions, separated the powers between the some powers given to the Supreme Court, some powers given to the, it clearly distinguished the powers between political powers between the Supreme Court as well as the Governor General Council. This is the very important, and also all Supreme Court powers curtailed. All officers belongs to East India Company. They were exempted from the Supreme Court, and the appeals from the lower court will directly stay with the Governor General of India, not with the Supreme Court. These are the important provisions of the 1871. And Pitt's India Act 1884, what we have discussed, some of the important provisions we have discussed. 1784, the Court of Directors, the Board of Control was established. So the supreme control of the government, so supreme control of the British government was established in the Indian administration. And after that we have discussed 1833 Charter Act, 1853, 1813 Charter Act, 1853. Here all other traders, some important provisions we have discussed here. All other traders were given permission to do business, and 1853 the Indian Legislative Council was established, and all these are covered in this session. Thank you very much. And next session we are going to discuss the Crown Rule from the 1853 to 1858 Government of India Act to 1947 India Independence Act, or Indian Government Act of India Independence Act of 1974. Thank you very much.